Do you know who the most influential person about who has helped you, helped us, helped anybody working on prescribed fire is in the past 5 years? Anybody else got a vote? The Pioneer Woman. So the Pioneer Woman, if you did not know this, and you were in prescribed fire, probably should look it up. The Pioneer Woman is an influencer, right? She's someone who people pay attention to. His dinner, his afternoon dinner, out, and it was during when they were conducting a prescribed fire. They live in the state, they live in northeastern Oklahoma, and this one photo, this one area, brought in thousands of comments. Thousands of comments. What are you doing? Why? Oh my gosh, the ranch is on fire. She was very, very good at that point in describing what they were doing toward prescribed fire. This one photo probably had on commenting more things than you have ever seen in your professional career about prescribed fire on this one Instagram post. And they have since that time actually come out very, very much in favor of prescribed fire, and they've gone around the country. As a matter of fact, last year they were at NCBA at the cattle convention talking about their experience with using prescribed fire in range management. Huge amount of influence of this one person. Now this really is to demonstrate that one of the things that we have an advantage of as scientists is to use these social tools. If you know a cheaper, faster, or easier way for you to get your information out there, I want to hear about it. In the history of mankind, there has not been a cheaper, faster, or easier way to get information out there. What Kelly is describing about looking forward into the future and looking at influencers and people in your community, do you think that possibly there's an area that we need to do a better job in? And that's probably in this area, using our social tools, using our social voice. Now, how many of you just loathe social media? Be honest. How many of you just think it's the devil, right? Hey, a few of us. There's some bad, absolutely bad things. When your grandparents got a TV, how many of them said, this is the devil, right? Anytime there's a major change in information transfer in the culture of humanity, there is always an inherent danger. There's always a group of people who says, this will be the end of us. Okay? This is not a controllable source. The same thing happened with radio. The same thing happened with published books. The same thing happens with newspaper. The same thing happens with social media. There's absolutely the feeling that there is a lack of control about information getting out there. But on the flip side of that, every time in human culture information transfer has happened faster, solutions also come into place a lot faster. So we are in an era where we have an extreme amount of information processing going on, an extreme amount of information transfer going on, and it's almost hard to get a handle on that. So these methodologies, while they feel a little bit foreign, if you haven't grown up with that, they feel foreign. But when you want to find out a piece of information, where do you go? Some of you still, yeah, Google. Somebody said Google. Yes, GTS, you Google that stuff right away, right? If there's something you need to know, that's where you go. Now, some of you say, I still go to the coffee shop. I can respect that. That's where people do go to get some amounts of information. But the reality is the vast amount of us, the vast amount of the public, the vast amount of people moving forward will be going to these places and spaces to get their news, right? Their information. We know that. That's why fake news is such an issue right now. But the flip side of that is you also have this great opportunity to do the work that you do and to be in that conversation. The downside is most of us are very reluctant to become an influencer in that area. We're reluctant, just as reluctant as anybody else, as judges are to put themselves on the line, you're reluctant to do that too. We think that potentially there's going to be somebody who comes along and says, I have this great way to reach those officials. I've got a great school, I've got a great publication, I've got a great something, I've got a great enough money. But the reality is during that time, all the negative influences are, in the meantime, kind of still spinning their wheels on getting those anti-agriculture, anti-management, anti-whatever information out. So I want to spend the rest of the time then kind of giving you a little bit of ways to look at this, because you have a great amount of power that's at your fingertips. And it is probably one of those cases where the timing is right. The timing is right to begin to use that. I think those things that Kelly is finding about the cultural issues, we're talking about how people, when do they have any experience with anything that you're asking them to make a decision on or now, right? So this is where I want to kind of focus the rest of it. I want to tell you 3 things that you could do differently. Just 3 things. That's the time we have today. So I'm going to just give you 3 ways in which you can really look at this and to make a difference as you individually in here, in this room, in this conference as an influencer. I really believe there's a power in being able to become an influencer within your realm. Each of you have something called a Dunbar number that runs through your life on the ability to have relationships with anybody. It's 150. It says that at any one time in your life, you can maintain, just in your cognitive thinking, 150 meaningful relationships. So that means that's a meaningful relationship potentially with a business or your friend or your church or something that you're involved in. So the key is that you are an influencer in your Dunbar circle. And the idea is that how do you leverage that? So you can leverage that a couple of different ways. One is maybe, how many of you have social media personally? You have personal accounts that you do stuff on. How many of you have a professional social media that you do outreach and education on? A few of you, okay. And there are 2 different ways that you manage those things. Most of us tend to manage our professional one the same way that we manage our personal one, thinking that way we influence people is the same on both mediums. It's not actually, there's some subtle differences, and I'll talk a little bit about those. But the first thing to do, and these are just trending numbers to tell you, is that one of the things that you need to understand is these social sites, these different tools, are very different. And they're very different mostly from a demographic sense of why and how people use them. So when we look at them across the ways, we think, okay, I'm going to choose a social tool to do things on that I am most comfortable with. But the numbers that go through these social channels are very heavily related to demographics. And I want to point out, I'm going to actually point out 2 things that I think are important and relates very much to what Kelly had said about the survey that they're doing. I'm actually going to drop the F-bomb in a minute here, okay? And the F-bomb is female, okay? In this particular one, females are a generation that you have to pay attention to. But there are 2 things that females are really showing out in the U.S. and being more influential in than they ever have in history. Does anybody know what those 2 are? By the way, they're also F words, so, okay? Food choices. Food choices and faith choices. So in the United States, females are helping with food and faith choices, which used to not be their dominant role. You know that because if you go home now and if you are at the table and your wife does not like what you asked to be cooked, she will have her own meal. She'll have her food, and guess what? The kids are looking at her meal to decide what do I want to do. That used to be the dominant role for the father in the family, or the male in the household. Okay? Faith is the other way. Most of the decisions about faith in the U.S. are shifting to the female. What we're looking at, though, and you can think about, is the number of those influencers that are coming up. So if that's happening a lot in our agricultural world, is that the family is looking toward those influencers to make decisions. Okay? That is going to continue to be the case as we have a very diverse or mixed cultural set coming up and through. That's going to definitely be the case as we move through that. But also need to look at that ability for some of that influencing to go through. Where are some of these ways that people are going to get in touch with the information that you want? Are you going to look at targeting those folks? Are you going to look at ways that they make decisions? It's definitely going to be a shift in your professional lifetime if you are not retiring within the next 10 years. So these social tools that we're looking at are kind of the same way. So when we're looking at who uses them, a lot of people say, well, that's only, I don't use them so much, the males don't use them so much. But actually, it's getting very similar. That is changing as that trend goes downward into younger than 35. So really the use of these have kind of saturated. Almost all platforms of social media have kind of saturated since 2016, with the exception of Snapchat. which continues to grow in a younger population. How many of you use Snapchat? Okay, that's something that we're looking at very closely because that's an area of growth for younger adults. What we like to think is that there is one social network I can use to get them all. But the reality is that's great for your personal use, but when you have an advocacy role, you have information or education that you want to put out, you have to actually pay attention to what the tools are designed to do. And so you have to broaden your reach. This is a lot of discomfort for most scientists or most folks I talk to because they don't want to do it. They pick their favorite, they want to stick with it. What the key is, remember, is that if you are looking to reach your influence and grow your influence, especially in this area, then you have to realize that you have this ability to reach different people with different tools. And so if you want to kind of think about what ways you'd be most comfortable, these tools are all designed to do a little bit of different things. And I want to focus a little bit on the 3 tools I think are really, really good for prescribed fire, because I think there's a lot of great messaging that could happen that needs to happen in more conversational ways by more people who are using this in order to become larger influencers. Okay? If you don't like coffee, you might like bacon. So these are ways into which we can say, yeah, there's different ways that we use social media, and they are absolutely designed to do different things and give different messaging. One of the things that you might want to look at is where are adults active on social media. We'll take a look at this. We know that some of these tools you may or may not use. How many of you use Facebook? Okay, how many of you use Instagram? Okay, number 2 tool. How many of you, at least in our different little age groups, as you can see coming along, what about Pinterest? Okay, and this is worldwide, which is why you see WhatsApp in there, Twitter, and then Snapchat. So there's a lot of differences, but there's a lot of people who are using a lot of different tools. And the domination of those tools is really somewhat age dependent. You will not be able to read any of these numbers here. These numbers are simply to show you that when you want to look at what you should be using by the person, age, type, demographic that you want to reach, there is great research out there by the Pew Research Institute who looks at who uses what. So Kelly pointed out that a lot of people may have influences that have come from instances in their lifetime. So where is, let's say, if we were thinking about, I want to be able to work on prescribed fire in the next 20 years, you need to reach out to those people who are 20 years old now, right? Who are going to be filling those seats, filling those county judges' seats, filling those fire marshal seats as they grow up. Well, how are they going to get an experience with what you're talking about? So one of my suggestions is learn how these tools are where the people you want to reach are. If I want to reach people who are in the demographic of 20 to 35, I'm going to be on Instagram and Snapchat. Do I have those accounts currently? Well, most of you say no. But if that's a group that you want to reach, that's a place you need to learn how do those work to tell our story. Because that's where those people are going. Okay, so there's some really valuable information looking at the demographic users of who uses these social tools. And if you think, why would we go here? Again, fast, easy, and cheap. 88% of Americans are online every day for something. So methodology makes sense, right? So the methodology makes sense. If they're reading about news, where do they get their news? Same place you get your news. Same place you get your news, online now, right? Watching the TV at 5:30 or 10 o'clock at night, it's not a place where you're gonna be able to make your impact, right? There's not a way for us to get ourselves on those channels unless it's in the disastrous area. But we have 24/7 channels that we have on all the time. The question is, how do we use them really well? The other thing to notice, and I think this is a good piece of information, is see the level of engagement. This is the number of minutes that people spend on these social platforms. Are they significant numbers? Yes, they are significant. And you can see that there are differences between them, which means that your messaging also can match that. All right, so the number 2 thing that I want to say is what you can do is use what you got. These social platforms are really designed to be able to do things, some of these social platforms, so that you want to do that this conference is about, that your job is about, that your desire to do or implement is about. The one thing I see a lot of times is we don't use these social tools well in education and information transfer. That's the role I'm in. What I notice is that we use these tools very poorly for that. Because we're hoping that eventually we'll get the chance to tell somebody all this great information one-on-one. How many times have you been able to do that? It's not very often, right? That's the hope, though. The hope is that, as soon as I get that person, or as soon as I get someone, I can talk and have a half an hour conversation. I can convince them, or I can do this with them. The reality is that doesn't happen very often. But these platforms and tools have really great ways in which we can use them. We just don't use them very well. So the first place is that we don't craft messages very well. We don't craft this space up on the top. You are actually in these tools given a lot of space to craft messages. But we don't think about that. We just think about, okay, I just need to get something posted. I just need to put one little sentence on here that's going to convince somebody of the thing that I'm trying to influence them toward. You wouldn't do that if you were to write it out, and you wouldn't do that in a verbal conversation. These tools allow that, but when you look at them, the thing that you hear most is from marketers. And marketers say, hurry up and get your message out really fast with an icon or a short byline. That's not what science does, and that's where science kind of cuts out. They don't understand that they don't have to follow the Coca-Colas of the world, that humans are really good at digesting information. What we've done is shortchanged most of the people out there and said, oh, we're not. We're terrible at paying attention. Well, that's a marketing view of the world, not how humans gather information. So there's some disparity in the messaging that maybe you're hearing about the value of using these. It is not actually in the research true that marketing values that humans do make judgment calls on marketing visuals, the Nikes, the Coca-Colas, that they do on making information about their food or their choices. Okay, so they are doing more cognitive recognition when it's about decisions, not about marketing. So you do have this giant area of influence that we just don't take advantage of. We don't know how to craft messages very well. And so basically this is what we do. We go out there, is Stephen here? Oh, he's on my picture, so. What we do is we go out there and we say things like we would say really short, this is a great experience. Okay, that doesn't help people if you want to be an influencer, if you want to help them overcome the information shortfall that they have in the area, especially for Stride Fire. It's a cool picture, and absolutely, the comment of this is a great thing we did today is worthy. But there's no reason that we stop there. This is how probably this should be utilized if we were to post it somewhere. This says, hey, this is what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and then a link to action. So a lot of times when you want to engage someone, what you're missing is this call to action. These principles that I'm giving you are actually for almost anywhere you post, even in your email, because it's how humans actually digest digital information when they're looking at a screen vertically, okay? Which is very different than they digest information when they're looking at a paper like this. So most of these social tools actually do have a lot of research in between how people will use them, and this is one of the areas. Facebook designs that white space that people can write on for a good reason, that it's very large, so you can do that. It allows hyperlinking. It allows you to do things in there that lead people to more information, more action, something to do or see, okay? And it can be very personal. So this particular tool is made for personal stories. If you were to use this same photograph on Twitter, Twitter is not made for personal stories. Twitter is made for news flashes. If you were to think of it in how you watch TV, of the CNNs of the world, Facebook is the broadcast that you tune into for the half an hour. Twitter is the little news ticker that's going on the bottom. These fast little pieces of information. So they are about action. You can use the action by things that they have built in there, like hashtags. That's some place where you can put in all the vernacular, the words that you want people to see. Remember, if it takes 17 to 19 times for someone to integrate something into their daily life. That means that if they want to see the word prescribed fire, controlled burn, those things have to be constantly in the things that they see. Okay, so you have the ability to do that by integrating even those small things into what you post. Make sure they're in the emails. The language that we speak about any of these natural resource management issues have to be in almost everything that we do in order for them to be common and comfortable in the general public. Okay, so you can think of that exactly as you see things. At your human consumption, you will begin to use those words. Humans are really good at that. One thing people ask me is, what about all these hashtags I see, they have words squished together? You actually have taken those tests on pieces of paper where you read things with the words switched together. Have you seen those? You take those little tests that says, if you can read this, you're the smartest person in the world. You can read it with words missing, you can read it with letters missing, you can read it with numbers replaced in the text. You can read things, the human mind can fix those things really fast. Twitter, that's why Twitter is so successful, Morgan, is because humans are exceptionally smart at reading things in 140 characters. Instagram, same way. Instagram to me is one of the best tools that Natural Resources has because it is completely designed around imagery. It is completely designed to convey information through images. And what better opportunity do we have as natural resource managers to use this tool? The one thing that people say as natural resource managers is, gosh, I wish people could see what we do. And I say, what do you have in your pocket? You have a phone. People can see what you do every day. Every day. And the thing is that we don't promote it every day. We're hoping for the opportunity to have a program, to have a one-on-one conversation, to have a conference in which we get to just tell them what we do. But every day you carry around something that 2 billion people are using every day. Okay? So what does it look like? Well, it looks like this. This is what good science looks like when presented in social tools. And I will have people who say, that's horrible because look at all those words. But I will tell you that good sites that use lots of information, lots of links, actually have growing numbers of people. It's not a turn-off to use a lot of words. And I'll tell you that things like, if you are on Instagram, go to NASA. If you've ever seen more prolific posting, it's NASA. They got 3.4 million people who subscribe to their channel every day, right? So this is something that we have been attuned a little bit by marketing to say, okay, shorten everything, dumb it down, get it smaller. That's not actually how humans cognitively think and make decisions. You have great spaces to actually promote the things that you do really well. We just aren't used to taking advantage of them. And we have ways that you will find quickly. You have human affirmation of things that they value. What in this picture, name 2 things in this picture that this picture, without even having to say one word, promotes. Family, livestock production, right? I didn't have to say any of those words. Everybody can look at that and say, oh, there's a happy family walking around with some food products. But at any rate, those are promoted through just a very simple visual representation of what humans see as cognition of happiness. Same thing here. What to do? All right, this is the challenge. Now you are going today on a prescribed diet, or you're going out to the coffee ranch. Coffee ranch is full of amazing things. And what we do is each one of you have your cell phone in your pocket. And what I want to do is challenge you today, whatever social channel you use, or if you're texting, or if you're emailing, whichever way you're communicating. The challenge is today to take a better picture of something that communicates something that's positive for natural resources or prescribed fire. You have the chance today to do it, just give it a try. And what does this mean by take better photos? Most of the public does not have a chance to see what you take for granted that you see every day. And you have this opportunity to capture it. Capture it in ways that you've never had a way to do before. Not as fast, easy, or cheap as you can do it now, right? This is free, practically, for what you pay your cell service. But you get the opportunity to show people on a daily basis these valuable things that you hope that they take on and become an influencer in. you begin to actually make this part of how you work and operate a little bit more coherently. Okay? You do different things like perspective. Most of the time we're used to, you've been trained because you probably grew up with taking pictures from far away as landscape views. Your phone in your pocket has a better lens today than most cameras, even digital SLRs. Okay? You have this opportunity to take amazing pictures from a perspective that will help people understand natural resources. When I say soil health and I take a picture from way over here and I'm looking across the horizon, as a scientist I say, "Ooh, look at all that vegetation look, or look at the diversity." I can make that because I know what I'm looking at, but when I'm trying to get the idea of soil health into folks who are not working on it on a daily basis, I want to get close. I want to show them what a healthy plant looks like. I want to put the soil in my hand and take a picture and show them what good soil clusters look like. What soil that's alive versus soil that isn't looks like, really close, right? So there's this opportunity to take great pictures because we have a cheap, fast, easy, free tool to do that. And so today, when you go out there and take your photos, think about it. What am I trying to convey? This is a sample of someone who I had the opportunity to meet, and we talked about this years ago, how to use Instagram. She began taking pictures from the back of her horse. And accidentally, because she was riding on the range, she was in South Dakota, the horse's ears were always in the picture, always in the picture. Well, as it turned out, that became her thing. The thing that was communicated began the view of working the land from the back of the horse. Now, that has all kinds of communication that began to be the trademark of how she communicated. This is what it looks like when I go out in the winter. This is what it looks like when I work the cows. This is what it looks like when my kids are running around the pasture. And then she actually got invited to have a gallery showing of her Instagram pictures. It was crazy, right? But she's a super great advocate for agriculture because she began to be able to show people what the life looked like for a South Dakota livestock rancher. That's all she was trying to do, is capture her daily life. And she got this great perspective. One of these guys, this is farming and ranching. They capture it. A lot come from drones. Most of their pictures come from drones, agriculture from drones. That's their thing. Tom Farms is their name. They're great advocates for showing all they're doing on almost all their pages. If you go to their Instagram page, they're simply showing what production agriculture looks like. Why is that important? Because 98% of people don't farm and ranch, right? 98%. They have no idea when I say the word production agriculture, the magnitude of what they're looking at. Tom Farms shows it every day. Every day they make an effort to show production agriculture. That's all their channel really is doing, right? People like to take pictures from the perspective of a little bit of a farther away, thinking, look at all these beautiful things. But we have these amazing tools in our hand that let us take in these pictures like this, closer up. If I'm talking about poultry health, don't I want to look closely at chickens that are healthy? I want the public to see that. So think about being creative ways to do that. One thing as you go out today, think about on your prescribed fire is a little bit about what perspective. Not to be unsafe, but if you're far enough away and you're having one today, you can take it from down low. You can take it from plants that you were doing it somewhere. Why not have a series of plants as the land regenerates? Most people don't understand the value of what's going on that's the year or the 2 years after a prescribed fire, right? So all the people see is char, burn, earth. Kelly will probably find that in those. And what you ask people in the focus group, what do you remember about fire? That's what they remember, right? They don't remember the things that happened after. If you look at the Yellowstone after the fire photos, pretty phenomenal, right? 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, amazing. But we don't share that part. So there's tons of opportunity to use these tools. They have given you the space, thousands of characters worth of free space to type in your message. They have given you the opportunity to show and broadcast and let people see from your perspective what the value and benefit of what you want them to see. They've given you the ability to attach hyperlinks. They've given you the ability to do hashtags. So in essence, all of these tools are in your pocket on a daily basis, ready to be broadcast out. And so those are the things that probably, if you did just three different things a little bit in this one area, if you do those for 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, what you might begin to see is that people actually begin to understand what you're trying to help them see the words that you're trying to help them understand. How are we going to get that to happen? That's by being more common in the way that we talk about natural resource management. We can't have it being the things that the monthly, the every yearly publications. That's not enough time. That's just simply not enough. So my encouragement today is that if you want to look up a little bit, if you're interested in this area, this is from Harold Darkey, and this is about how influencing happens today. This is research that this man does about how you can become a digital influencer. And why, you can say, I don't know if I want to have time for that. This is the way that if you want to influence in this area, this is one of the only ways that's very heavily available to us. He has even a very cheap $99 class that will help you understand how influencing happens and what kind of ways that you can change your work style to just kind of feed into this just in a more natural way. So just as an anecdotal story, many of you do not know the influence that you will have until you begin to try to use it. I have a friend of mine who follows me on Instagram, and I always post about what we're doing here at Noble or what I did in Miracle Life. Just the daily things. Here's what we do. This is a field day we're having. Oh, look, we're looking at soil health. We're looking at animal productivity. And she happened to just send me a little note that said, my son follows you on Instagram, and he's decided that he wants to go to A&M Natural Resource Management because he's fascinated by these things that you get to do. And so that's just one story of many of how you can either personally kind of start to integrate the things that you're passionate about and get a little bit more of the word out there about what you're trying to do. And I think it is particularly applicable in prescribed fire because fire is one of the things that doesn't have a positive connotation. We have a long cultural history of why that is, but the way to combat that is to make it more common in the everyday things people see. And you are carrying around one of the best instruments for your voice that you've had in the history of man. So after the camera. So anyway, I'm making that challenge to you today when you go out. Try to just do one or two different things. Try to post more information with your post. Try to give people resources that you trust because peer-to-peer relationships are the highest level of trust. So when you recommend something to your 150, they're going to take that more in trust than they would from an organization or something